have a foolproof method of controlling black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and I make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. I want you to listen. What are those three things? Fear, envy, distrust. For what purpose? Control. To control who? The slave. Who is the slave? Us. Listen. He said, these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and they will work throughout the South. Now, take this simple little list and think about it. On the top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A, and the second is color or shade. There's intelligence, sex, size of plantation, status of plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, north, east, south, or west, have fine hair or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry it on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. Now don't forget, you must pitch the old black male against the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the female against the male, and you must use the male against the female. You must use the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these keys are your keys to control. Use them. Never miss an opportunity. And if used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. End of quote. So spoke Willie Lynch 283 years ago. And so as a consequence, we as a people now have been fractured, divided, and destroyed, filled with fear, distrust, and envy. Therefore, because of fear, envy, and distrust of one another, many of us as leaders, teachers, educators, pastors, and persons are still under the control mechanism of our former slave masters and their children. And now, in spite of all that division, in spite of all that divisiveness, we responded to a call. And look at what is present here today. We have here those brothers with means and those who have no means, those who are light and those who are dark, those who are educated, those who are uneducated, those who are business people, those who don't know anything about business, those who are young, those who are old, those who are scientific, those who know nothing of science, those who are religious and those who are irreligious, those who are Christian, those who are Muslim, those who are Baptist, those who are Methodist, those who are Episcopalian, those of traditional African religions. We got them all here today.
Go ahead, brother.
And why did we come? We came because we want to move perfect union. And if you notice, the press triggered every one of those divisions. You shouldn't come, you're a Christian, that's a Muslim thing. You shouldn't come, you're too intelligent to follow hate. You shouldn't come, look at what they did. They excluded women, you see? They played all the cards. They pulled all the strings. Oh, but you better look again, Willie. There's a new black man in America today. A new black woman in America today. Now, brothers, there's a social benefit of our gathering here today, and that is that from this day forward, we can never again see ourselves through the narrow eyes of the limitation of the boundaries of our own fraternal, civic, political, religious, street organization, or professional organization. We are forced by the magnitude of what we see here today, that whenever you return to your cities and you see a black man, a black woman, don't ask him what is your social, political, or religious affiliation, or what is your status. Know that he is your brother. And if he needs help, you are obligated to help your brother because he is your brother. You must live beyond the narrow restrictions of the divisions that have been imposed upon us. Well, some of us are here because it's history making. Some of us are here because it's a march through which we can express anger and rage with America for what she has and is doing to us. So we're here for many reasons, but the basic reason that this was called was for atonement and reconciliation. So it is necessary for me, in as short a time as possible, to give as full an explanation of atonement as possible. As I said earlier, atonement is the 5th stage in an 8-stage process. So let's go back to the first stage of the process that brings us into perfect union with God. And the first
Greetings, listeners. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning, and in a short while from now, I will open up the telephone lines, inshallah, and take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. You can send text messages directly to me on 332-0214. And we are streaming live on the Facebook page of the Street 919 FM. Well, another week, my beloved people. And you know, for the past, with the exception of last year, but for the past 6 years or so, 5 or 6 years, every year around this time, I'd be in Jamaica for the Marcus Garvey celebrations. And I was one of the guest speakers in 2016, in 2017, in 2018, but in 2019, I was the keynote speaker. And the Marcus Garvey celebrations, similar to Emancipation Day in Trinidad, attract thousands of people from, of course, all across Jamaica, but other parts of the Caribbean as well. And I really did miss it last year, even though I was still a guest, one of the guest speakers online. And so this year, 2021, once again, there are a number of activities. So, of course, Marcus Garvey Day is also my birthday, which is August the 17th, which will be on Tuesday, inshallah. Last year was the big year. Last year was the milestone year. Yeah. So this year is the milestone year plus one. But, so I'll be part of a panel again for the Marcus Garvey celebrations. So throughout this morning, I want to share with you some knowledge and wisdom and some history of Marcus Garvey, along with other issues taking place. Of course, let me remind you that there is an inordinately high level of censorship in the media regarding discussions on the pandemic and, of course, the issues surrounding it. So, I just say that as a guideline. But this week, on Wednesday gone, on my Facebook page, as every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, I do a 1-hour Black Agenda presentation, which, of course, doesn't have the same restrictions that we would have, say, in a forum like this. But my topic was 666. The mark of the beast. Because there have been and has been and continues to be so much discussion around that. Now, of course, this is not the first time in human history that this issue has been center stage under attention. There have been many moments in history. But right now, a lot of people are saying, is that the mark of the beast? Is that what the book of Revelations was talking about? So both on my Facebook and Instagram channels, I dealt with that topic on Wednesday night, and the reaction was incredible. And we're not saying yes it is, and the same way we're not saying yes it is, the same way we can't say no it's not. But what we are saying is that we're living in a time period where we have to be so much more broad-minded, so much more open-minded, so much more conscious, so much more aware. Because in that book of Revelations, chapter 13, it starts off talking about a beast that came out of the waters, and it was like a leopard, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. And then so you have that beast there. Then a dragon comes out, and then the dragon gives power to the beast. And then the beast is slain, it's wounded, and then another beast comes. And the second beast had all the power of the first beast, and then the wound heals, and then the people bow down and worship the beast, and then the beast starts to blaspheme. And then it says, well, this beast, is really a man. And he has a number. And the number is 666. And so it will get to the point, according to the book of Revelation, that one day everyone will have to take the mark of this beast. And basically, you won't be able to live in modern society without it. You won't be able to buy. You won't be able to sell. You won't be able to do business and trade. Probably won't be able to go to school by implication. And then that's been in the Bible, sitting there for all these thousands of years, hundreds of years. And then now the people are being told, hey, see this injection here? You have to get it. Or else you won't be able to buy or sell or do trade or business or go to school. And people are saying, like, what? But the reason that we have to be broad-minded, open-minded, is because clearly, when you read in the Bible about dragons and beasts and serpents and grotesque creatures, no animal or beast like that has ever wreaked havoc on earth. So clearly it's talking about people. I mean, Scripture talks about the serpent. I mean, outside of the beast and the dragon and the serpent, what about sheep and goats? Scriptures say we have to separate the sheep from the goats. What does that mean? You think they're talking about real sheep and real goats and that you who read the Bible have to become a farmer? Definitely not. So the sheep are one kind of people, and the goats are another kind of people. Look, in the book of Genesis, it talks about Jacob. Jacob is a Hebrew name. The Arabic to Jacob is Yaqub. And in the Bible, Yaqub is grafting animals, separating them, crossbreeding them, and having the cows and the sheep and the goat and different creatures. What is that about? You think the Bible is giving us this whole long narrative about breeding of animals? It's all either people, characteristics of people, attributes of people, traits of people. So now we're talking about a beast in Revelation, and it says it has great power and authority. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the history of the white race for the last 6,000 years has been written in the blood of the darker peoples of the earth. Who could deny that? Because you're talking about an existence that has been punctuated by genocide, slavery, mass murder, human trafficking, rape, dehumanization, buying and selling of human beings, killing by the hundreds of thousands. I mean, you're talking about from since the beginning of European history, it has all been about death. The Aborigines, the Africans, the Native Americans, the people living in Tanzania, the Australians, all of the indigenous people that they ever found anywhere that were not white, they killed throughout their history. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad then is saying, if you read in a Bible and it's talking about a beast and a dragon and a serpent or a devil that is doing all of this evil and wickedness, and there are a people whose history fits that to a T, then are you gonna still be looking out in the Pacific Ocean, in the Indian Ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean for some big creature with 7 heads and 10 horns to come up out of the sea? Really? So then it says this beast has a number, 666. Now again, what has happened, and again, because our thinking has not been as broad as it should have been, the amount of times in history that number has been observed and avoided, or that there has been some kind of paranoia centered around it. I mean, if you go back in history, every time there's a June the 6th in a year ending in 6, it has been an issue. June the 6th, 406. June the 6th, 506. June the 6th, 606. Go back in the archives, you'll see it. June the 6th in 1666. June the 6th in 1706. It has always been a day around which they've focused so much paranoia and sensationalism. How many of you remember June the 6th, 2006? On that day, this movie was released to the world, Damien Omen, about the devil baby being born. And well, actually, when I was a child going to school, there were 3 parts of that movie. There's Damien Omen part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 was when he was born, little white baby, and he was a child, and he was evil, and he burned things, and he threw the maid down the stairs, and he used to communicate with animals, And then part 2 was like he became a teenager, and he started to say, but wait a minute, but why do I feel this way? Why do I have these kinds of powers? But I'm the devil. Wow. And then part 3, he's a grown man, and he runs for elections and becomes president of the United States, and he makes everyone he makes everyone, as president of the United States, take this mark 666 on their hands and on their forehead. Now that was in the 1970s, 1980s. They made those movies, and they would have made several more. But on June the 6th, 2006, just 15 years ago, they remade the film, but they did all 3 parts in one. And it was a big hit. It was a big hit. But every time that year comes around, women don't want to have babies on that day. There's all kind of speculation about if the world is going to end on that day, or if the Antichrist is going to be born, etc., etc., etc. But clearly it can't be talking about a person. Do you know how much people thought that Donald Trump was the devil? See, now he has to be. Power and authority. He's like a beast, and he's blaspheming, and he's doing all these wicked things. But before him, do you know how much people thought that George Bush was the devil? And before him, his father, George Bush Sr. Now people say, oh, that's the Antichrist. That's the man. And before him, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan actually lived in a home with the address 666. So you have all this speculation, and there would have been so many other times, but can it really be one person, one individual, when you have these systems that are being prolonged? So check it out. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the white race has been on the earth for 6,000 years. Of course, they originated out of us. And he identified the island of Patmos, or Pilan, where there were 60,000 people, and it took 600 years for them to emerge. European history begins 4,000 years ago with the Mycenaean invasion of Greece. So they have 2,000 years of hidden history. And then when their recorded history begins in Greece 4,000 years ago, it is non-stop violence, non-stop bloodshed, non-stop killing. But Elijah Muhammad went on to explain further, 6 is centered around their whole existence. They measure time by the number 6. 60 seconds in a minute. 60 minutes in an hour. The keeper of the law, the sheriff, wears a 6-pointed star. And the weapon that he carries is a 6-shooter. And if he kills you with it, at your funeral, there are 6 pallbearers who bury you 6 feet deep. His favorite drink even comes in a 6-pack. How many of y'all growing up looking at Sesame Street? Remember that song by Bird? My favorite number is 6. Listen, when I first heard Minister Farrakhan teach on this, I was like, it may have been, as a child growing up, hearing all that, seeing all that, all of this is around us. But it goes deeper. They say you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark 666. And you look now, what is the most popular, the most common means of doing trade, a business, transactions? It is the Visa credit card. And many of you, if you have a MasterCard and certain other credit cards, without even asking you, the bank, you get your renewed credit card, all of a sudden it's a Visa card instead of MasterCard or one of the others. They're changing all the cards to Visa now. And even when you use electronic payments, PayPal and Amazon and Cash App and Apple Pay, it's all linked to a Visa credit card account. So look at Visa. The scriptures speak about the 3 mystery Babylons. Ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and Babylonia. VI in Roman numerals is 6. S in Greek is 6. An A in Babylonian with a line coming down the middle is 6. Listen, don't take my word for any of this. Go and check it out for yourself. So Visa is actually 666. But again, it doesn't mean that the head of that corporation or the CEO or the managing director, if he takes the hat off his head, you'll see 2 horns. No, it's not like that. Remember, that verse says, here is wisdom. Let him who hath understanding reckon or calculate the number of beasts. Look at those 3 components. Wisdom, understanding, calculation. That means you have to incorporate your common intelligence to decipher a puzzle that is before you that too many people are taking literally. To see a man standing over here or someone over there or someone with 666 on their head or on their hand. No, there's no wisdom or understanding or calculation involved in that. You have to look at the broader picture, at the global systems, how authority and domination is carried out, how decisions are made in one room, in one place that can affect the entire world. And if you look at what's happening globally, in fact, you could leave out globally, just look at the Caribbean. And you'll hear all of these identical statements coming out from different ministers of health, different prime ministers, from all over the region. They're saying the same things, making these same kinds of statements. as if someone gave them a script. I remember when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was in Trinidad in 2012 and he spoke at Napa. He said, look around you and notice something about Caribbean police forces. I remember the days when the police officers were in short pants with a revolver, neat gray shirt, and a pen and a pad. Now, not just Trinidad, again, think broadly. All over the Caribbean, the police are being militarized. So now you're seeing police in bomb hats, big, heavy boots, decked down with all kinds of weapons, pistol, machine gun, hand grenade, taser, stun gun. Bulletproof vest. Now, these aren't decisions that were taken individually by all of these Caribbean nations, but there's a narrative that is being handed down. And it's the same with right now with what the world is going through. Right, same way that there's this simultaneous narrative everywhere. But it was as if some kind of instruction was being given to Caribbean nations in the militarization of our police forces. And now that friendly community police officer image is hardly even existent anymore. So it's almost like the police force is at war with the state. It's something else. So where is the power behind that? Where's the authority behind that? When you look at the United States of America and Israel, there are so many world policies that United States of America and Israel have had a view on and have voted for, and the whole rest of the world, with the exception of 3 or 4 other countries, have voted against. And a lot of it has to do with human rights, with civil rights, with apartheid, with racism, with international criminal courts, with freedom for Palestine. A lot of it, America and Israel, and a few other countries that you would have never heard about before. No disrespect to those countries. But, I mean, I don't want to disrespect any of these countries, but, you know, places like Palau and Malawi and, not Malawi, but there are countries that it's like they were given independence just to go and vote with the United Nations against the rest of the world for Israel. So people are asking the question, is this 666 the mark of the beast? Cannot think of anything within recent times that the whole world was being forced into. And it's like they're testing the waters. You know, just talking about mandatory and being forced. And in Grenada, they came out, jab against the jab. Wow. Grenada have had their carnival. The Jab Molasses that said jab against the jab. Large crowds. In St. Vincent, we saw what happened. In Barbados, I'm so proud of my Nation of Islam brothers. I'm sure you'd have seen those videos of the mass demonstrations in Barbados. In Guyana, interestingly, in Guyana, they locked some of the health workers outside of the hospital or outside of the medical facilities in Linden. I'm very wary of that new government in Guyana. However, they reversed their decision on forcing people to do what they did not want to do, disrespecting their human rights and civil rights. So the people came out, let their voices be heard, and the government in Guyana, at least in Linden, reversed their decision and said, okay, we won't do that anymore. And I admire them for that. Antigua, serious protests. And so, meanwhile, back on the ranch, or we could say back on the plantation here, of course, we look forward to a new level next week as retail stores are going to be open once again. Let me take the opportunity to announce to you that we're having African Expo number 8. So retails are scheduled to reopen the retail sector on Monday, August 16th. Of course, we'll get that confirmation either later today in a press conference or tomorrow in a press conference, but it was confirmed last week in a press conference. So from Monday, retail sectors opening back out, and we are having our 8th African Expo on August 28th, Saturday, August 28th at the Kwame Ture Center. And most likely, I will be extending that sale on the books that was so beautiful on Emancipation Day. So put that date down. Saturday, August 28th at the Kwame Ture Center, African Expo number 8. You know what the amazing thing about this is? Out of these 8 African Expos, I think about 5 of them would have been during the pandemic. So the first one was November 2018. Was it 2018 or 2019? Let me not hurt my head right now. And also, of course, every Friday at the Kwame Ture Center, we have the African Farmers Market. So we had the second one yesterday. And again, all the produce selling out, people coming. So we're looking to increase our network, expand our volume. But we have to cut out that middleman who takes the food that we manufacture, put a markup on it, sell it back to us. And he makes, in some cases, more money than the actual farmers themselves. But if we have our own African farmers market, we can come together, cut out the middleman, get freshly harvested food, good food, grown by our own African farmers, our own family. You drive into the Kwame Ture Center on Fridays, you make your purchase, you go. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. All right, so let's go to the phone lines. This is the most unpredictable program, trust me. All right, so 342-0081 and 466-5391. First caller, good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Brother David.
Yes, good morning.
But you no longer trying to get you, and I can't get you. Brother David, you said something this morning about these market beasts. When you talk about the 3 6s, it's not us to speak about. You say 6 motron, 6 proton, and 6 electron. We have all the elements of the universe. It's not us that is speaking about, but I did it.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it as well. And again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is in his explanation said this number is all around us. That is the mark of the beast, but it's also the mark of the original man. And it's in our history. But it's in their history for bloodshed, domination, power, control, and the spreading of an agenda.
Yes, and I understand. Sometimes I just try to explain to people. They speak about Sodom and Gomorrah. I just ask, which part Sodom and Gomorrah is? They say God destroyed the city. You know, how people just fail to understand that. The city wasn't destroyed, you know. And when you go back in history, you know the European man and the European woman, you know, they are homosexual and lesbians. And they show it in the movies. Europe, the Sodom and Gomorrah, European man and European woman is a sodomite. When you go back to King James, this King James was so nasty. This man was a pedophile, a murderer. I kill your own mother because she telling me he bringing in young boys, having intercourse with them, and then he killing them after. She told him about it, and all these little children that he dealing with and killing them after. You know what you do? You murder your own mother because she tell him about it. You know, black people, when you tell them this man that they say God inspired to write this Bible, if you go and see about these people, even this man, Alexander, the barbarian, the evil man, the wicked and evil man, you understand? When you go back in history, these people, he went down into India with the boyfriend. European man is a homosexual, and African people dealing in these things, and they even understand. Go and do the history. As Professor James Small, you know he writes, I know you're going to know this man.
Of course. He's a friend of
mine. Right. He said, know your history and erase the mystery. Black people don't understand. White people, they walk over on us, you know. They walk over, and let me explain it this better. They walk over and they know what they walk it with words. The Bible said the Bible is a lie. When I tell black people, the Bible said the Bible is a lie, how are they living by this thing? If you go into to Galatians, the 4th chapter, the 22nd to the 24th verse, where it says, Abraham had 2 sons, one by a born woman, one by a free woman. The 24th verse going to say, and these things are allegory, you're living by a lie. When you tell black people that, look what the Bible said to you, and you know what? We wanted to, boy, the Bible is true. The Bible is written by men. Who's the first man to write a Bible coming out of the Dark Ages? The first man to write a Bible coming out of the Dark Ages was a man they called Gluckenberg, a German, because he had the first printed press. The man's name is Gluckenberg. You could go up on the net, you could go and Google it. Say, not Google and hear this thing. Go on the net, go and do your research. These men like Dr. Ben Yusuf Yokanan, you understand this one from the Congo, the one from France, forget your name.
Sheikh Anta Diop.
Sheikh Anta Diop. These men spend their whole life trying to bring education to African people. You know where we're going into the Bible. If a man can't get work, you know a black man go say, a black woman, why you don't pray about it? Pray, come on. You have to get up, you have to do something. You can't pray about these things.
Yeah,
you have to get up, you have to do. Yeah. And we not accustomed as this man Umar Johnson is say. You know why we in the condition we not accustomed billing. That's why you have so much trouble in the better David. We're not accustomed billing. We have to start a bill. And you know what to build we youth. Build the mind. And when we build the youth mind, they're going to build for us.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Pleasant good morning to you, Brother David Muhammad.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
I'm fine, by God's grace.
Brother David Muhammad, let me tell you something, right? First, I would like to congratulate you on your Kwame Ture's development and the enhancement of your center. I mean, back in the days, I was kind of skeptical about the geographical nature of where the center is, but now I can see the benefits for all, right? Moving forward, though, I would also like to elaborate, or I would offer that you elaborate on the Haiti situation. If it is you think that is part of the process where Haiti assassination of its president, if that is part of the one world order, one voice, that kind of thing, because I can agree with you. I can simply say that before the Antichrist arrives, we also have to be testing. and I can not stand firm, but I can hold hands on agreement with you and say, hey, this is part of the testing process. You know, sometimes if you are making something to sell, right, or food or whatever it may be, you know, you would be able to taste it first before you send it out there to the general public, so you will know the best quality, or you will know if it is good to, or whatever the case may be, to send out there. And that is it. This is a testing period. And I'm not against anybody who wants to take the vaccine because it's an individual choice. But to say it is not mandatory, but the words and expression of it alluding that it is indeed mandatory, how are we going to survive this crisis? Thank you, David Mohammed. You have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, my brother. I want to play just a 30-second or 50-second clip. This is Minister Farrakhan in 2008.
You better start storing something in your houses. And I'm not talking about guns. I'm talking about food that's non-perishable, because this thing is falling and falling fast. And when your people can't find jobs and can't have money, murder and bloodshed will be all in the streets. There may come a time you won't be able to come to the mosque. But the Quran says, make your homes places of worship.
And that is a conversation that has been reoccurring from time to time about soon, you know, you'll have to stay in your home. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to black people, you must have a survival kit in your home. And a survival kit, again, perishable, non-perishable foodstuffs, in particular the navy beans. But I'll have to go over that whole survival kit with you. Because there may come a time, again, based on how this beast is operating society, soon we'll have to be insulated from the consequences of his power by staying inside our homes. All right. Oh, we have a break coming up, and I can't even see the time exactly. So, good morning, caller.
Good morning, my brother David.
Good morning to you.
And, you know, I pray that God will bless you. I pray that He will guide you and keep you forever doing what He wants you to do and not what you want to do. Because your vision is what keeping us alive. And I know it is the vision of Allah. So I give thanks, I give praise, I give all honor and all glory unto Him. And I listened to our brother spoke just now, and he said that we can't pray about these things. Yes, we could pray. The Lord said to get up and help yourself, and He will bless you along the way. So long as we praying and asking God to enlighten our dark understanding, we will be able to meet the marks and cross them over. Brother David, have a blessed and a holy life until Allah say, come son, I am ready for you.
Thank you, my beloved brother. I appreciate those kinds of blessings so much. Be prepared for an abrupt interruption, okay? No disrespect to anyone. But, so Tuesday is my birthday. I remember some years ago, when my 40th birthday came, right? I remember being so grateful. Okay. Right, so we'll be back. Stay with us.
What you say?
the inside of
So from the inside, yes, of me, and may you delight.
I want you to delight in my life.
On the inside, yes, Father from the inside. Oh, boy, this jacket holding me down, boy. Set me, come feel. On the inside, yes, of me, and set me on fire. On the inside, hey, say Father inside, hey. Come here, who say, hey, say all I
Oh, is
for you to be glorified and you to be
lifted high.
hey, all I know is for you,
You to be
you to be glorified.
You to be lifted
Help me say, say, all I
you to be glorified.
you to be glorified.
You to be lifted.
All I
want is for you to be glorified. You to be lifted high.
Come here, me say, fill my life till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life.
Till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life. Till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life. Till all they see is you, Lord.
All the pretty ladies, y'all do nothing more. All the man, say all I want, is for you to be
Glorified.
and you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be.
Lifted high.
All I want is for you to be glorified.
You to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified. You to be lifted high.
Are you experiencing loss of vision or are your glasses broken? At Value Optical, we're open and we're here to help. You can have your urgent eyeglasses in 3 days with packages starting at $695. When you visit us, be mindful of the 3 W's. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Please call us toll-free 800-2020 for expert advice on your vision needs or to book your appointment. Value Optical, caring for your eyes.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Hey, you keeping safe? I hope so. I don't really know what will happen when everything will back up, but the line had to go on. But in the meantime, just come online with the live wire. I'm on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Or you could check us out on the live on Facebook at the Street 919 FM or on YouTube at Street TV. Don't forget to share the live. That might just be as important as you keeping safe. So mask up, sanitize, tune in to the Street 919 FM, Lime on the Live Wire Saturday afternoons, 5 to 8 p.m. Don't worry, I gotta be home in time for the curfew. Keep safe.
Was good. I went and did some doubles, the place was good. I went by the beach and I watched the skies, it was a paradise. But when COVID touched down that day, and I see the cases start to raise, I tell you, if you don't get vaccinated, it's trouble. For the place to be good again, for the place to be good again, for the place to be good again. No more lockdown in water Spain, but your teeth to be good again. So we could mash it up, shell it up and turn it over. So we could mash it up, shell it up and turn it over. Yo, this is Iwer George, the big boss of the business, and this is the message from the North Central Regional Health Authority.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Here my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Heal Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monrepos, San Fernando. For more info, contact Dr. Desmond Phillip at NHM on 349-3494.
NHM Professional Associates can be heard live on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 9:05 to 9:55 a.m.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iwer George on Instagram. Share the live. Iwer TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory.
Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen.
So there's a need for brotherhood.
Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen.
Brotherhood is demanded.
Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. So there's a need for brotherhood. But if you walk the earth proud and arrogant, you never learn your lesson because you think you already know. And how the hell could you know and be in the shape that we're in? How can there be any brotherhood if there's not even the honoring of a word?
Welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. We're going up to 9 o'clock. And we'll continue taking your calls in a short while on 3420081 and 4665391. Let me just tell you something that you must know about the great Marcus Garvey. The Honorable Marcus Garvey was born on August the 17th, 1887 in Jamaica. He traveled throughout the hemisphere, went to America, and started the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, which became to date the largest organization of black people in America, with a membership of 6 million. He became so powerful and influential with his black nationalism and consciousness teachings that the first ever black men that were hired by the FBI, which was the BOI at the time, were employed to spy on, infiltrate, betray, and bring down Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was known for his mantra, Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. And he said, a people without a knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. But Marcus Garvey organized black people. And so they saw him as a threat. So they trumped up false charges against him for a mail fraud and imprisoned him, then deported him back to Jamaica. Remember, he had a successful Black Star Liner shipping mission, taking black people back to Africa, reconnecting the bridge between Africans in the West and on the mother continent. And when he went to Jamaica, again, he went into politics, but they victimized him, they seized his property, they slandered him, arrested him in Jamaica, and also put him in prison for slander and libel. And Marcus Garvey ended up back in England, and he died in June 1940 in London. But this man was so powerful and was able to use the philosophy of Pan-Africanism to unite so many people and create economic strength. But his philosophy was so deep, and I want to share this short story with you that is extremely inspiring. That when Marcus Garvey was in America, in New York, he became friends with a young man from Vietnam who used to work in a restaurant. He would wash dishes and mop floors. And this man from Vietnam became so interested in what Marcus Garvey had to teach that he started attending Marcus Garvey's lectures and started really absorbing in his ideology. Let's fast forward to the end of the story. That man from Vietnam, who became a friend of Marcus Garvey around 1917, 1918 in New York, went on to become the first and only leader of any country to ever defeat the United States of America in a war. That man was Ho Chi Minh, who became the leader of Vietnam during the Vietnam War, which Vietnam won. As a matter of fact, when America fled from Vietnam, the equipment that they left back in Vietnam made the Vietnamese army the fourth most well-equipped army in the world. And that man was able to unite his country. It wasn't the American army fighting against the Vietnamese army. It was the American army fighting against the Vietnamese people, because they united in such a way. They came together as one nation. The old ladies, the young children, the women, the workers, the accountants, the lawyers, the doctors, the businessmen, the shopkeepers, all of them participated in one way or another to defend their nation, to defend their people, and uphold and respect their heritage. And when our beloved brother Kwame Ture, formerly Stokely Carmichael of Trinidad and Tobago, who popularized the phrase Black Power to the whole world, Kwame Ture went to visit Ho Chi Minh in 1975. And Ho Chi Minh told Kwame Ture, he said, the only way that your people can be truly liberated is if they follow the teachings and the philosophy of my old friend, Marcus Garvey. Now, what does that say for us black people in the Caribbean, where Marcus Garvey's philosophy, as outlined by Dr. Tony Martin, was race first, not racism, but race first, because the injustices, the oppression, the genocide, the tyranny, the political misrepresentation, the marginalization in society, all of that which people of African descent have suffered in the Western Hemisphere and Caribbean societies in particular, has been as a result of our race. We were enslaved due to our race. We were subjects in colonialism due to our race. We were denied equal opportunity in society due to our race. And we were victims of economic apartheid because of our race. So therefore, Marcus Garvey said, we must respond and react and build and rebuild and uplift ourselves as a race, because we were brought down because of our race. So it was for that reason Marcus Garvey said race first and established a philosophy to empower and unite all of us as a people. And that is just as relevant in 2021 as it was in 1921 when Marcus Garvey was teaching that in New York. So, beloved family, let's go back to our phone lines. And one last thing I want to share with you regarding the number 666. Now, of course, there's been mass hysteria and paranoia about this number, but let me give you a few more cases here. And this, I guess, is a lighter side of the subject. So, in 1989, President Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy Reagan, when they moved into their home in the Bel Air section of Los Angeles after the 1988 election, the address of their home was 666 St. Cloud Road, and they changed it to 668. In 1988, the address at Chicago's American Furniture Mart building was changed by its owner from 666 New Lakeshore Drive to 680 New Lakeshore Drive. Of course, to distance the new tenancy from the former owner's financial problems, according to them. In 2003, United States Road Route 666 in the New Mexico area was changed to Route 491, of course, because of superstition. In 2015, United States Congress Representative Joe Barton had the number of a legislative bill he had introduced changed from Bill 666 to 702, because according to them, the original bill number carried many different negative connotations. And in October 2017, Flight AY666 from Copenhagen, Denmark to Helsinki, Finland departed for the last time before it was renamed to flight AY954. And since 2006, the flight has been scheduled on a Friday the 13th on 21 occasions. Of course, yesterday was Friday 13th, Black Friday, an unlucky day for white people. In 2021, Brookfield Properties decided to renumber 666 Fifth Avenue in Midtown Manhattan to 660 Fifth Avenue. In November 2013, Cody Thacker, a cross-country runner at the Whitley County High School in Williamsburg, Kentucky, refused to run in her High School Athletic Association regional meet, forfeiting a chance at qualifying for the state championships when her coach gave her the bib with the number 666. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. All right, so 3420081 and 4665391. Caller, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
King Muhammad. Brother David.
Yes, sir.
The first thing I want to say, what's her name? Dr. Francis Cresswell said.
Yep, the ISIS papers.
The most disastrous aspect of colonization, which you are the most reluctant to release from your mind, is the colonization of the image of God. You see, the first brother call, I want to tell him something, that you have to forget the big people. You have to concentrate on the young ones, the children, your grandchildren, your youths that you come across who wants to learn. You have to concentrate on them, teach to them, so that they, sort of pass it on. So you get out of this bubble that we are in. The big people, you have to leave them alone because they're already set in their way. You understand? But David, I heard something yesterday. There's a radio station that always costed the government on a morning. I know you know what station I'm talking about. I heard something yesterday morning by the Minister of Health. The Minister of Health said that you cannot give this the injection to a child that is between 12 years, if you are 12 years, to 17 years and 364 days. They can't give it to you. And then the next day you come back and say, they're giving it to you from that age up. It was on the radio. You understand? And I know I can't go into that too much, but David, if I was a writer, you see the Europeans, I would write a book on the minds of the Europeans. Because, Brother David, I keep studying them, and I'm seeing who they are. They are the most evil thing on this planet, Brother David. All the objective is to control, to rule and control, you understand? And they will go to any extreme to do it because they have destroyed their own people. If you go back and see the wars that they have fought among themselves. As the brother said before, you understand, this whole homosexuality thing started with them. They destroyed their own. And when they're done destroying their own, they leave and they went across to Africa and they destroyed the Africans they met over there. I mean, they met their resistance, but they occupied the place. Thief, the same book that they have said, thou shalt not steal, where they preach to us every day. And they went and they thief, you understand, all that they met in Africa outside of it. They raped the country and they have it in their museum. The same stone thing in their museum all over Europe. You understand? This is what they have done to us. They're not easy. If you understand what is going on with this thing that they have here, this is to reduce, you understand, mankind, and for their own objective. They have their own objective, that which the goal, which they want to achieve, and they don't mind whatever they do to do it. You have to go into the minds of the Europeans. If you go into the minds and see how they're thinking, understand where they're coming from, they're still in control, They was in control at that time of Africa, and they put things in place to continue keeping that control. If you listen to Brother Farrakhan and that book that you talk about, Willie Lynch said this book, which is the Bible, he said that once you follow him, it will last for 1,000 years. When Donald Trump, when they was marching against the killing of Floyd, What Donald Trump did, he went in front of the Catholic Church and he showed them the Bible. And every time you go into history, everywhere you see destruction, everywhere you see evil, you see the churches involved. Elmina's Castle, look at Elmina's Castle. They built Elmina's Castle under the church. You understand? And they had 300 women and the 1,000 September. And go and see what they have done. They put that book in place to keep us in ignorance. You understand? And if we don't get ourselves outside our bubble, brother, we're in trouble. We will remain there. Our young people have to take. Before I go, I want to say, look at the food that they are giving us. You see the food they're telling us, watch it. Just know they're going to have tomato that is a great tomato. You understand? They want to control. They are controlling. There's an American who controls 75% of the grain in the world. Watch the tomato. Watch the okra. Watch the size of it. People try and get the original and keep it because you have to watch you eat it. You control your belly, control your brain. But anyway, you can have a good day. Reach home safe.
Thank you, sir. And that's why we have to support the African Farmers Market every Friday at the Kwame Ture Center. Fresh food, freshly harvested. Caller, good morning.
Morning, everybody.
How you doing?
2 quick points. I have an idea for you. I don't want to share it, but I think I'll talk with you. You have a number and it's have WhatsApp and things.
Yes, you could contact me on the WhatsApp number 332-0214.
Right.
And also, anyone who wants to be part of the broadcast list for information on when we go live on social media and other events, they can just message that number 332-0214.
Right. I have an idea I want to share with you, but I want to so David, I hear you mention Jack and I'm working, right? I'm listening to so and also listening. But I hear you mention that, you believe those beings mentioned is mythological?
Well, we spoke about that. We said clearly those, talking about a beast and a dragon and a serpent would really be in reference to characteristics of human beings who display those kinds of qualities. A beast is a murderous creature by nature that causes chaos and destruction in its pathway. But there are people who are more likely to do that rather than some animal coming out of the sea.
Right, I understand that.
But there are people who do take them literally, of course.
Like me. Because what we don't understand, right, I won't be too long, what we do not understand is the objective view of humanity. Most of what we believe in, most of the tenets that we under, most of the things that we consider natural, like wars is a controlled population and herd immunity, we take it for granted. Where the origin of these adages and principalities, we take it for granted. We will let to believe that we are the greatest thing created, but there were other things created, and added to a serpent and a dragon, there is also the lion. Right? And it is in Psalms that eat up my flesh and break out the teeth in the young lion mouth. Stuff like that. We will let you believe that. The thing is, in closing, the human frequency is different to the people who control, to the being that controlling the earth right now. And there is a whole heap of chances and things involved in terms of to get that human experience. They envy us and they jealous us because, as it was stated in the Quran, you made me from fire. These are hydrogen beings, and you made them from the oxygen beings. And our potential is such that, it have a lot of explanation to deal with in terms of the frequencies we can pick up from God himself or the source itself, and the difference with they. They believe in logic. We know about, we believe, our benevolence gives us more power because we are more aligned to the sustaining power of the constant, uninterrupted sustaining power of God himself. So our benevolence puts us at a higher frequency, and the only way was to regress that is what we're going through right now. Otherwise, we could make leaps and bounds that could put us in a kind of controlling situation. Human beings don't believe that they could survive without an economic system. And that is one of the blunders of humanity. Thank you, Brother David, for being on next program.
All right, thank you. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Brother David.
Good morning to you.
Brother David, you know, this is how this Black Friday come across. This is a police officer in Philadelphia. It's the suburban area. The people, the tourists, and then when they do a heavy shopping, and from that they name that on the 13th, they talk about it and say they call it Black Friday. Okay?
You're talking about the Black Friday sale.
Yes, brother.
Okay.
You know who talking to you? Your friend Jama?
DJ.
Huh?
Of course, DJ Jama.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
They say the tourists that went there and make such a big shopping, and from that the 13th was a Friday, and from that day they call it Black Friday.
Well, that's the Black Friday sale, but the actual Black Friday was around long before that.
No, that's what was said yesterday. Somebody pulled it up and said that is the answer. Because yes. Okay, brother, they will have a blessed one and we shall say in
all right,
Jesus'
thank
name.
you. Always so nice to hear from you.
Yes, darling.
All right.
Okay, have a blessed one. Okay.
Same to you. Good morning. Caller. Caller, are you there?
Oh.
Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, David Mormon.
Same to you.
Good morning to all the African people around the world, the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. I want to find out something. I listening to your program, by something special about black people. I asked myself this question. I've been studying this. For the angels in them to look down from heaven and had great envy for this, for man and the earth, what Yah create, the Heavenly Father create, is something special about us. You understand? And I've been, the seeds of the fallen angels, sure, they are the earth with us today. You understand? And they also have envy for us. They are the ones who always try to keep us in bondage. You understand? Something great about us. Something really great about us that the Heavenly Father creates. And it's something about us what they don't have. You understand? You know, like the Heavenly Father claims that He created us. You understand? Exactly like Him. Yeah. You understand? And that's something we should study very closely. And that's something we should get into one of these days. You understand? I know. I listened to your program talking about these G6s and all that. But listen, I bumped up to some people, which is mostly 70s people that believe that's go down this road, right? Maybe others too as well from different churches. And they believe, you see that word you said there, where they believe this beast is coming up from the earth and from the sea. This guy is telling me, I explained it to this guy, I said, listen, you need to open your mind. He said in Revelation, I also read it as well, in Revelation share where John saw locusts like came up from the bottomless pit, having stings like scorpion, was torturing men on the face of the earth. So this guy believes it's a giant locust. So I said, no, partner. I said, open your mind. I said, the only thing can do that on yesterday is war jets.
People.
You understand? They have things like scorpions. They fire missile from the sky, bullets from the sky, and kill people on the earth. And he said, no, what about what John saw with the great iron fish? I said, iron fish? I said, that's a submarine. He said, that how about this big unclean frog that John saw, and the frog opened his mouth and on small unclean one came out. I said, that is an aircraft carrier where it carries soldiers, and when it lands, it opens a trap door, tanks and soldiers comes out. You understand? This guy is still doubting me, you know. Because you see, they're so caught up in this, they don't want to believe it's man. They believe it's some kind of beast coming up from the bottomless pit or some kind of thing like, is man you're dreaming? The evil people on the earth, what was not approved by the Heavenly Father, they create true fallen angels. That's why I call them. The Heavenly Father put a mark upon them, you know. But people don't want to accept that. They say we racial. He called them. He said for my people to know them. He said they have a mark upon them. Pale skin, blue eyes, and colored hair. These are the seeds of fallen angels stirring. And they don't understand. What are the people who are making all the wars and trying to kill all black people of different citizens? Take a good look at the people who's trying to do that. Even I'm locked on and listening. Have a blessed day.
That's my brother. Thank you. Thank you. And again, you know, we have to think in a broad-minded way, because if, for example, the Bible says something like a dragon is going to be spitting fire from the sky down on the people, and you see the American warplane coming, dropping bombs like hell, killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Sudan, and you still waiting for the dragon to come and spit fire down and say, no, well, this beast here who sent the plane, that's not the dragon that they were talking about? Well, good luck. I'll take the literal dragon any day. Caller, good morning.
A blessed day to you, big brother.
Same to you, sir.
And each one of my brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, elders and leaders worldwide, you know. Here upon earth and even in the galaxy that we speak about. Hey, alien man, you know, good, all right? You overstand it in a full of heights. Big brother, the man who now talk today, he and all overstand it in a full heights too. Big brother, you overstand it in a full heights. And if you remember my voice, big brother. His ears are falling, his ears are calling too, though. So let me remind the people. Drink the coffee and don't smell it, people.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah, big brother. Just be listening, the phone going on, just on the mountain here chilling and listening. I still have a look phone, I listen here. And listening to program 91.9, always, never stop. And, you know, listening over the years still, and to see how wise the people get, or how knowledgeable we get, or how much we do, how much research we did on who we are. Yes, people, we are a special being of people. Superman, Spider-Man, Hulk. All the superheroes come on the face of the earth to live. All. They will say, and yes, as the brother now say, how did the angel look down and was vexed with man, but yet still loved woman? So they create giants on the earth. People wake up in this time, 2021. We are a special breed of people. How long will we take to recognize it? 2021 is the year for us to unite. People, listen to what I'm saying, you know, unite under the God realm. It could be Muslim, Hindu, Baptist, no matter what. Black man, black woman, unite all yourself. All you stop this. I don't know why. Brother, we need to remind each other each and every day of what we're doing. And we need to, because you see, it's like the enemy is trying to make us forget. He is coming with this big plan now to make us forget even more greater, which is the dignity within. The Roman Catholic know it as the dignity we have within us, black people. And try for black people to use the dignity, because we feel it every day, you know, Brother David. Every day we just feel the vibe, but it's only because we love to down walk, or we love this car, or we love the house we living in, or we was never of this thing in the beginning. So now today we get it glorious in this time. We take, Father God only give us a far moment. I go long, go back to the earth, go give the children to drink, and look at these people coming here today now for us. And yet still all of us, plenty of us is running and say, well, let me take it because it will be we help us put head, yeah, for the coming world. For which coming world? The one God creating. God is creating, and it's like,
you break it up a bit, brother. Okay, I think we've lost you. All right, sorry about that. 342-0081, 466-5391. Let's go back to the lines. Good morning, caller.
A blessing, David.
Blessings.
Now, The word is unity, UNITY. Viewers. When Marcus Garvey established the shipping in the
Black Star Liner.
Yes. You know, it had people who was against it, the same Africans. Well, we could say people and black people. Why do we say Africans or Ethiopians or Al-Kibolanians, Ethiopians or Shania? The black people, let us identify ourselves with names. Ethiopians or Shania. This is what is going on right now. When he established that, they further the cause, and look at when it's, let me say, it's nearly 70-something years now, or 80-something years, right? Nothing in himself, the organization in himself put their heads together to, let me say, get one ship self going. If you was showing no Brother David. And you know what? The unions are responsible for all of this. Because they are the ones who have members, let me say, people within organizations called unions. And what are they doing more than marching and protesting? They should have been in business long time. As I always say, Selwyn John and Vernon Glean were the only two who gave workers the opportunity to get a house and land, if you was watching you, within union business. They take union money and do it. They ain't get into no business, even this last business here with the refinery. They themselves want to get into that. If you was watching you, well, get into drilling, taking oil out of the ground then. Do something. All the unions are responsible for getting people together in this year time right now. And they're not doing it. They're not getting into business. They're watching the 1% business, the government business. But what about the union business? Union come from unity. Let us get united people, especially in Africa. One more thing, Brother David. They had a case with a poacher killing an elephant, and they gave him 1 year. I want them to do the poachers just what they're doing the animals, and them kill every poacher. And then they will send a message. Why? India have elephants. Thailand have elephants. Indonesia have elephants. Malaysia have elephants. But the only elephant they could find to kill is African elephants. Thank you, Brother David.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother David.
Morning to you.
Wonderful program as usual. Lot of wisdom and knowledge. I wish you had a better forum to depart the kind of knowledge you have, right, embedded inside of you, because you're trying your best, I know, with your program to wake up black people, to think, to educate themselves, to do their research and stop taking the hand down from these big oligarchs with their agendas that making us think for a tunnel vision, right? And it starts from the primary school straight up to the university. And my thing is, I have a question for you, but I wouldn't ask it now. I'll ask it when I close in my thing. There's a disturbing trend that came out yesterday, right? And it concerns our economy, right? The United States, right? Commission on Trade sent out an editorial yesterday. They determined that there's a reasonable indication that a U.S. industry is materially injured, reasoning of imports of urea and ammonia nitrate solutions coming from Trinidad and Russia. So they are allegedly subsidizing. That's what they're saying. They allege that we and Russia subsidizing the prices of the material, right, sold in the United States at less than fair value, and it damaging a company, a U.S.-based company, that doing the same product. So they have an investigation going on right now concerning me and Russia. That must be disturbing to the Prime Minister, because I know when he come in with this forum, when he come in on the podium today, that is very disturbing for our economy. You understand? Because they have an investigation. You could go on the UTIC website and check it out, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's the USITC website. That come out yesterday. right? Some investigation, they allege, and onto the bacchanal. You understand what I'm saying? Mind boggling that. Brother David, what has black people did wrong on the face of the earth to be paying this high price for so long? Could you answer me that question, Brother David? What we did wrong to the higher authorities, to the kings and the higher order that some of us do? What have we did wrong to be paying this price up to today?
Well, retribution is inevitable. Judgment will be passed, and justice will be restored. That's just the nature of the balance of the universe. So don't worry about it.
Because someone posted that question to me. We had a conversation for about 3 hours. And it's a foreigner, he's a doctor, right? He doing history and thing. And he had posted that question to me, and I couldn't answer him. Right? I couldn't answer him. I said, well, boy, the history and the studies and everything showing something contrary.
Yeah, but a beast doesn't need an excuse in order for him to show his savage ways, you know. We didn't have to do anything for this beast to do what he did to us. That's the nature of a beast. And that's the key word right there. Nature. He will behave like that anyway, whether he's provoked or not.
Yeah, but Brother David, in the history books, right? In the history books, nothing of this nature have been documented to say that why black people were so enslaved. They have no history about this. They have about the true meaning and the reason why these people concord this whole agenda that they own for so long. And as a matter of fact, a lot of writers, history writers, allege that we are still in bondage, not in chains and shackles, but the systemic agenda, business and being empowered. Okay, come like, let me say this to say this. Are we ready to a Republican state?
I hear you. But thanks a lot for your call, dear brother.
Yeah, man, good program. We'll lock down and listening.
That's it. Good morning, caller.
Morning, my brother.
How you doing?
Not too. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank God for that. At one time I said you were afraid to take my call.
Afraid to take your call? Why must you start off with...
I don't know. I say you take my call just now. You didn't. You're not taking our other calls. I said, well, maybe we are vexed with each other.
I don't even know who you are.
That is what I'm saying. All right, let's forget that. Let's move on, sir. There was a few callers a while back. We call a man, I think they call him Alien Man. And to the man who didn't call a long time. And they're all correct. In the sense that in Africa, there wasn't a thing called economics, at the sense of economics. We had gold and we had everything. There was one man who went on a journey, and when he gave away so much gold, what was his name?
Mansa Musa.
The entire economy of those countries that he passed through went to nothing. Black people didn't see themselves as economics, didn't put economics in front of anything. You have something, I give you something. You have corn, I have peas. We exchange. And we barter. There wasn't a sense of economic value per se. With Europeans came economic value. And once you put economic value to a human being, that is how we are today. That is what enslaved us. Even though slavery has abolished, economics has enslaved us. Because the amount of cars they make around the world all don't sell, they could give it away. The amount of televisions they make around the world all don't sell, they could give it away. But they make a new one next year. How they do that? Brain of where you get the technology, the idea from? From man, from God, not so?
Right.
All right. So that comes free. But we sell it. We put our value to what we receive for free.
Yeah.
Not so? And the further you push yourself away from God, is the further you get yourself away from receiving freeness, and you depend on what you could buy, what you could purchase now. You understand my logic?
I do.
Enjoy your morning, my brother.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Morning, brother David.
Yes, good morning.
Oh gosh. Brother David, about three things or two things, I know, but I'll start with this one. I don't know if you could give everybody if it's a minute or something. So more callers could get in, Brother David, your time short on the air. And sometimes it does, the other times that it does be on the air, whether it be on the Black Agenda and thing, or the other frequencies, and them does be kind of off with a lot of people. So sometimes we catch you Saturday morning. Most of your listeners are sure we just catch you on a Saturday morning. But our next thing to Brother David, recently I get to notice this gating. For some reason they're pushing this gating as a black people thing. I don't know why they're doing it. And there's only one famous rapper coming out and talking against this one. That who's Boozy.
Who?
Well, you name Boozy. You name himself Badass Boozy.
Okay.
Yeah, only him alone talking out against it. The others, that have one or two who talking out against it too, but they're not as bold as him now. Because remember, he coming out and
Ice Cube used to come out against it strong.
Yeah?
Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Yeah.
All right, well, I hear him, but the main person I hear is Boozy. Because Boozy come out flat and say flat, not everybody against the boys growing up to do this thing. Not everybody, and again, not like if you know, like if you don't want your trend doing that, like you is the problem now.
But they passing sanctions against you. Look at what happened to Kevin Hart, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart simply said if he has a son, he would not want his son to grow up to be gay. And they fired him from the he was supposed to host the Oscars or something. Yeah. Or he had to apologize before they let him host. Look at race car driver Lewis Hamilton, best in the world, black man with Grenadian parents, the Formula One racer. He put on his Instagram something about, he told his 5-year-old nephew, you shouldn't be wearing a dress or dresses are for girls, and he lost sponsorship. I mean, you talk about hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsorship because he said something that would have been offensive to the gay and lesbian community.
Yeah. And our next thing too, quickly before I go, Brother David. You ever go in and use an app? And when you go in and use the app, they pop up this thing and telling you, it does have a pop-up saying, if you're allowing so and so to access your camera and your footage, your photos, and literally go into your privacy now. And they just have either deny or allow.
Right.
And when you deny, you can't use the app. So in other words, why ask? If you enjoy, you take it. You're not going to let you use you're not going to let the person use the app unless they grant you the personal business. And right now, it's the same analogy why I just give people for what's going on right now. Whether you take your job or you don't take your job, anyhow you take it, is going to be affected. Because basically what they're doing, they're telling you, yes, they're telling you have a choice, but you don't really have a choice. And it's coming out in certain, the cartoons, a lot of the cartoons, like Family Guy and all these things, Bart Simpson and all these things, a lot of things that does come out in these cartoons that just give a little pinch, some little pinch. Yeah, and I see a little pinch when it comes to that free will thing in Rick and Morty. Yeah, where somebody asks Rick if everybody have free will, and he say, what free will? But anyhow, Brother David, this whole thing what's happening right now in the world, people just had to pray, because man doesn't, when you see these shadow bosses and them doing what they're doing, it's always to eliminate people. No matter what, it is always be to eliminate people. And
it's
when you
the
look
new
back in
world
history,
order.
Yeah, when you look back in history, they really do eliminate a lot of people. And right now, they don't want to fight no wars because, any war to be fought will be seriously bloody, because, everybody had a big stick now.
Yeah.
The Russians and them had the black hand. Everybody, all they do all the research, all they go see what else they doing. But Brother David, 1 minute, I hope I take...
Well, you took about 4. You took about 4, but that's fine, though. That's fine. Thanks a lot for calling. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Brother Dave.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Tobago.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book, The New World Order?
Of
by
course.
Pat Robinson?
But let me say something, though, as you mentioned that. There is a bit of fake news going around with I'm sure you'd have seen it. I'm sure that's why you're mentioning the book. But with the front cover of the book, The New World Order by Ralph Epperson, and a passage talking about COVID-19.
Pat Robinson.
Pat Robinson? No, I'm talking about the one by Ralph Epperson.
No, the one I have is by Pat
No,
Robinson.
that's the preacher. No. No, I'm not
Okay.
talking about that. But anyway, there's a bit of fake news going around alleging that there's a passage in the book talking about COVID, which is not true. It was actually fabricated. And there's enough information out there, there's enough real information out there that sets the record straight. It's not necessary for anyone to make up stuff, if you understand. But go ahead with your contribution, though.
Yeah, it's some part in the book where I was reading with this, the four angels, with the motive of the demonic spirits to be all consumed by the angel of demons had been bound by the spirit of commandment sometimes earlier this year. So they were talking about how much people that have to die for them to, it's as ghostly as it seems, are the new age advocates of the New World Order,
right,
who have openly advocated recently that up to 2 billion people need to die in the world in order to cleanse it, the preparation for the reign of the new Messiah. So I want to know what's going on with this. If it's these people, because this book telling you about this is something that planned years ago. It's not something that just happening. Because I have this book over 15 years, and all these things are happening. And he talk about the Illuminati, the GBLT or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Because it looks like all these things is what these is the people that's going to be controlling the world, because in the book says that. So I need some explanation, because it has so much things in this book that's so funny. I don't even know if it's true or not to believe, what to believe, what not to believe. Because they talk about the chip is the last thing supposed to happen.
Yeah.
The chip that they're supposed to put in your arm, and without that chip, nothing will work. Everybody thinking it's the injection.
Well, let me ask you, did you go out and get your chip?
Please. I'm ready for that. God is my chip. I have God in my body. Me, I want nothing to upset God. From my body. I did not chip.
Right.
I have God in my body. I
Me
don't need
neither.
that chip.
Me neither.
Yeah. Me neither. I don't need it. I have God. I'm an arm. Herbalist, and I go down the road on my own.
Yes, lovely. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much for your call.
Yeah, okay.
Very much
Thanks.
appreciated, and blessings to everyone in Tobago. So, my beloved family, remember, Saturday, August 28th, African Expo number 8 at the Kwame Ture Center throughout the day. Remember also the African Farmers Market at the Kwame Ture Center every Friday throughout the day. So I'll be on Facebook Live on the Black Agenda, facebook.com/Black Agenda Project, not the Black Agenda Project organization page, the David Muhammad page, of which the address is facebook.com/Black Agenda Project. Wednesday, 8 o'clock. But stay tuned to the Street 919 FM, and may Almighty God Allah continue to bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Simpsons Memorial Limited, number 63 Eastern Main Road, Laventille. Internationally accredited funeral directors and embalmers. A full-service funeral home serving families of Trinidad and Tobago, and internationally since 1945. At Simpsons Memorial Limited, we serve with dignity in assisting families and honoring the memory of their loved ones. Our services include professional funeral and pre-planning, burials and cremation, custom-built and imported caskets, coffins and cremation trays, cemetery management, limousines, mourners cars, grief counseling, web streaming of funerals, fully air-conditioned chapel with live musical accompaniment, full global shipping and receiving of loved ones. We specialize in facial restorations. Call us anytime, day or night, at 623-8688. That number again is 623-8688. Simpsons Memorial Limited. Superior service always.